Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going vlog style only because I'm very short on time. I'm trying to do something for my daughter. She is currently staying with my in-laws right now. So I just want to kind of hurry up and move this along. Um, uh, my room is a mess right now, but hopefully you can just at least see what I'm dealing with so far. So what I plan on doing, she loves the LED lights that I have in my room. I don't even know where the remote is. Anyway, so I'm gonna be installing this. I'm gonna get the camera right. All right, so I'm gonna be installing this. Novostella LED kit. Really, it was just dirt cheap on Amazon. It's 100 feet. It's really 2 rolls of 50-foot. Has its own proprietary receiver, like most of them, unfortunately. Uses a bullet style connector for power. Here's a power extension cord. Here is also your wall outlet. And of course, your remote with all the different kinds of colors and whatnot with it. All right, so with that said, I'm gonna kind of show you what I'm dealing with in her room and hopefully take you all along for the ride. Let's get into it. All right, everyone, so this is my daughter's room. She is a very spoiled little kid. We are currently kind of cleaning the room. Here's my beautiful wife. Hi, say hi. We are currently trying to clean up her room and try to install some of her awards from like her karate and stuff like that on the walls. So my current plan is I want to do the perimeter of the wall with the LEDs, and I want it to run down behind the TV. Now I am going to clean this up in the future. I do have a whole kit that once you run the power cables down inside the wall. For starters, the LEDs are just going to be resting on the outside of the wall, which I know some people don't like because the LEDs are just shining right in your eyes. So I do want to put crown molding up here in the future to kind of diffuse some of that color, and I want to drill a hole and run it down inside the wall. So with that said, let's get into it. All right, so as you can see, we've got the top lit up. Just got it running on white right now. So I only used, it's too dark right here. I used one of the 50-foot reels. The whole reel I can use right now. So my plan is, right there is the receiver, and there's a little splitter right there. So I plan on running it down and hooking up into the TV. Now, yes, I know this is going to look really ugly having all these wires hanging down from the wall. But like I said, we plan on doing some crown molding around the top anyways in the future. I'm going to quickly go through some of the colors. Hopefully I don't make my wife sick. I'm going to try to jump. Now, I know what a lot of people complain about, especially having the lights like this, is that the lights just shine right at you. So a lot of people will have some way to diffuse it. That's why I want crown molding, so I can have it pointing up and have it be diffused that way. But I don't think my daughter will be disappointed either way. All right, so I think this is pretty much where I'm going to end today. I know it's going to look pretty janky back here. However, I don't think my 4-year-old is going to care. So as you can see, I'm making this really ugly bin and just having strips of lights just going to the TV. The good thing about the light strips, they are able to be cut, and you could probably get some adapter kits or just solder on some wires to extend them, and that's what I plan on doing in the future, to kind of clean that up. So I cut that wire right there, and Yeah. Oh, so before I forget, so grab these. They're so small. All right. So inside the kit has this little hold down and tiny screw. And I'm pretty sure that would be very helpful in some kind of trim because that screw is very tiny. Not very helpful in drywall. However, I use them anyways, just to kind of hold them in place. I'm going to show you the LED strip real quick, wherever I did with it. Alright, so the LED strip is kind of cheap. So I'm used to some of the LED kits actually covered in some kind of silicone or something like that, I guess for outdoor use. This one is quite literally just ribbon cable with LEDs put on top of it, which, I mean, for the price of it, it was very fine. And of course, it's got adhesive on the back, which does work pretty well for it being so lightweight because it doesn't have the extra plastic on it. Right here, oop, wrong side. So right here, you can see where you can cut it, and they have adapter kits where you can adapt to this, or you can actually solder straight to this to modify the length and do what you got to do. And that's what I do plan on doing in the future. But I think my daughter's gonna love it just as it is for now. I think it looks pretty good for a 4-year-old.
You gonna talk about that?
All right, so one last thing. You can kind of see it here on the video. So right here on this side is the start of the run. This side right here is the end. And it's only on the color white that there's discoloration. I don't seem to see it on the different colors. The reds, the greens, you don't really see it. But on white, for some reason, I don't know if it's just because of the 3 LEDs trying to make the white and it's near the end of it, that's an issue, which is fine. My daughter's probably going to be using every other color but white. I know some other LED strips actually have a dedicated white LED, and that's probably for that reason. Again, like I said, I don't think my daughter's really gonna matter. Do need to clean up my grease smudges on there. My hands are still pretty dirty from work. So, alright, so I'm gonna try to be quick and wrap up this video. So it's been a couple days since I've actually installed the LEDs in my daughter's room, and she absolutely loves them. It's quite easy to do. Maybe only took me like 30 minutes. Granted, I didn't do it as well as I would have hoped. I would have loved to actually have made it a lot cleaner, but I will have plenty of opportunity to do so because now my wife wants LEDs throughout the house. So I will have plenty of opportunity. And that also brings me to some facts that I want to adjust in my earlier statements. Because now that I'm doing research on putting LEDs throughout the rest of the house, I think I'm a little bit more aware of what I said. So I originally said because the LEDs are exposed on the ribbon tape that I assume that they're of a cheaper quality. Not the case. That is not an indicator of quality of the LEDs themselves. So all this basically means, if they're exposed like this, is that they're not meant for outdoor use. The outdoor use ones will actually be, they'll have like a dome shape to them. They're covered in some form of like silicone to protect them from the elements. So I also know more about the LEDs themselves. So before I get into all that, I'm gonna go over the specs of the Novo Stella. I think that's the proper name. So it's 42 watts usage. It was a total of 105 feet, 2 rolls of 50 plus feet. Input voltage to the power supply is between 100 and 240 volts. Biggest thing to take away from here is, so the LED type is 50-50. So I will put down in the description down below a website that I found that more appropriately talks about the different types of LEDs. Another important fact is the voltage of these strips. So there's going to be either 12 volt or 24 volt. This is a 24 volt strip setup, and I'll get into the reason why that's important. And 50,000 hours of life expectancy out of this. So with that out of the way, so now that I did her room, I have about 50 feet worth of LED that I at first thought I couldn't use. So that is going to fix one of the things I said. So I said that the plugs on these things were proprietary. That is not correct. So most of these LEDs, if they're RGB, they're going to have either 4 or 5 wires. 4 is just for the standard RGB, red, green, blue. If you got 5, that's usually means it's going to have a additional LED in there for white. Now some of them, they may have like a female connector or a male connector, but you can get adapters for all that. So in my case with this setup, I can still use this because on Amazon, and I'll put links down in the description below, Amazon has LED light controllers. So, and that's one thing I found with these light kits. They're pretty much, for the most part, I'm pretty sure somebody might disagree, for the most part, they're pretty much about the same. They may have different operating voltages to them, but they're pretty much all the same. The only thing that's different is that these companies will package the specific length of lights, and they'll put in what they deemed is the appropriate light controller for them. So there's many different light controllers. There's an infrared, there's radio frequency, there's smart devices, which I'm pretty sure is Bluetooth. You can actually use it with your phone. There's ones that sound activated. So, and that's one of the things I do love about this kit. It's got a radio frequency receiver, which means it was really nice and clean setup. I didn't have to have room for a light sensor or anything like that. I have to make sure that was visible. I really like. So, with that in mind, I've actually found that I can buy a light controller for this, knowing that it is a 24 volt wire setup. I just have to make sure I get a light controller and power supply for 24 volt lights. So that's good. So I can probably mount this somewhere else in some other project. All I got to do is pick up another light controller and power supply, and I'm good to go. So the point that I'm trying to make with this is that don't focus so much on the brand, because I've already had to buy a couple of them, and they're pretty much all the same. The only thing that you're really going to look for is if the light controller is what you're looking for. Does it have all the colors that you want? Is it infrared? So if you want to have a little light sensor, if it's radio, or if you want a smart function where you can hook it up with your phone, you can actually hook up multiple receivers of one app. And the only thing that is going to be a limiting factor is the LED light strips themselves. A small factoid. So when they were advertising stuff like this, they're going to advertise like the different types of LEDs that are on them. So these LEDs, as I mentioned, are 50/50. All that basically means is that they are a large free chip LED, meaning that they have the red, blue, green, whatever, red, blue, whatever. So there's different sizes, and they're gonna have obviously different functions for different applications. Because they're larger, they're further spaced apart, but yeah, they're supposed to be brighter. But then there's ones that are smaller, but they're only one color, and they can put them closer together, and therefore make it a more uniform light. So I mean, it's really going to depend on your functionality. I'm really all about the RGB function on these. I like the fact that you can actually customize the lighting for your needs instead of just having one light strip, and there you go. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got on this. Um, I talked about that it's got the adhesive backing on these. You can mount them just about anywhere. Um, I talked about how they make adapters for these, but they're basically like no solder crimp adapters. You kind of put them on here, and you just kind of crimp them on, and you can then have like additional wires, or you can hook this together to another strand. Because I do plan on, like I talked about, is maybe either have an adapter or soldering on connections where I can actually run it down inside the wall to give it a cleaner look in the future. And I'm going to be doing that in the future in the rest of the house, and I'll be taking you all along for the ride on that one. Um, I don't have anything bad to say about Nova Stella. I think it was a a good overall kit. Um, I guess the overall quality will be um, foretold the longer we use it. See if the light controller holds up, or maybe if the LEDs hold up. I already done pointed out that later or the further down the line that there's a little bit of, I don't want to say degradation, but a little bit of color quality in the white, and that's probably just the fact that as it gets further down the line, there's you're gonna receive, because it's DC, so you're gonna see a voltage drop from one end to the next. So it's probably just the fact that there's just not enough DC voltage going to the ends of the LEDs to produce that clean white that you're looking for. But I don't see it in any other colors, so I don't think it's really gonna be an issue. So I try to make this video short and sweet. Hope you liked it. Maybe it might help you. Maybe it might answer some questions. If not, post them in the comments down below. Um, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you.